So I did a video a while back on marijuana in Finland because it's legal now, but the CBD version sold openly in stores. I haven't bought any of it, and I just learned a whole bunch of stuff about this yesterday from some YouTube lectures from a Dr. Christian Bogden, Bogden. You can find him on the Suzanne Humphreys website, and she's definitely a type of hidden banned knowledge on here. You look her up, it's going to be debunked. Don't learn anything about the body or health from her, but watch her lectures. They're really, really informative, and she seems very honest to me. So Dr. Christian Bogden, man, this guy. So if this doesn't put me into completely restricted state, I don't know what will, but let's see. I'm already in that state. I can get one subscriber for every 5 videos I make if I'm good. So this is definitely a platform I'm going to have to leave at some point because my thinking is just dangerous, I guess. I wish YouTube would tell me what part, because I'd love to correct anything that's dangerous or anything I've said that's wrong or anything, just like what I'll do in this video. So, apparently, and I'm probably going to mess up the name of the receptors, but it's, I think it might have been a TH2 receptor or something, but I'm just going to call it a THC receptor. So, your brain naturally creates THC receptors when it's stressed out. This is something I did not know at all. So, if you have no stress from work, from life, you won't be able to feel marijuana if you came in contact with it anyway. So, after the body becomes stressed from days at work or day at work and or the gym or something like this, your body creates the receptors in the brain. I believe it was on the end of the microglia cells, or was it just or neuronal cells? I'm not going to remember the specifics. So you can look at it yourself. And I just woke up. So your brain will start to create its own THC. This I had no idea. That's psychoactive, you won't feel it, to trigger the antioxidant effect in your body. This is something big I didn't understand either, and I don't know, there's only a little bit of evidence of this, but there is a patent from the 1930s in the US where marijuana should be looked at as and I think it was THC specifically again, as a high-level antioxidant. It should be considered a new form of antioxidant because once this triggers the receptor, the entire body just is told to calm down and shut down, right? Not shut down, calm down, and lots of other positive things happen. Go figure this. I don't know anybody that's ever smoked it. You can say, does it lower your blood pressure? Like, all right, I've never tested it, but I'm for a fact going to say it definitely seems to have the effect of making the people's body want to go through less of the physical activity they were just going to do. For example, if I was high right now, I'd move less, I'd be a little less active. So clearly my blood pressure would not raise as high because I'm not as amped up as I am when I'm sober. So I didn't know that this could have some huge protective effect of blood pressure lowering. So anybody on blood pressure medication, it might be much safer, especially when you look at the harms of all the blood pressure medications, to lower your blood pressure. And by the way, a lot more than 5 points. Blood pressure medication only lowers blood pressure 5 points on the medical literature that I've read itself. So I wouldn't even treat my own high blood pressure, and I've had high blood pressure my whole life. In college while playing sports, but I'm also 2 meters tall, or 6'7". I'm not going to consider myself the same as any study. And by the way, a lot of these studies were done on rat studies and stuff too. So, all right, back to Bogden. The original kind of theory of disease, where I'm somewhat on board with his theory of diseases right now. A leaky gut, which is 10 times the amount of cells that you have human cells in your body. A bacteria from mouth to anus is all bacteria, different kinds of colonies. They matter more than taking care of your heart, your kidneys, your liver, or anything like that. Don't worry about the single things. There's no medicine your body requires to live. But these bugs, if you don't take care of them, you're screwed. So I guess the problem with it is you can heal these things even if you have destroyed your bacteria, but your gut biome. Not only is it linked to depression and all kinds of other mood stuff, but so how do you fix something far down the pipe if you have a problem down that's near the end of it? If you're, a plumber, how do you work on something like that and just fix that one part? So a lot of the medicines we use, probiotics and stuff, can only get to the first layers of bacteria. So I would imagine eating nuts and things that kind of stay could help the lower parts, huh? But there have been some rat studies where they removed the entire gut biome from rats, and they had all these same health conditions: swelling in the brain, autism, basically. And when they recovered the gut biome, the swelling in the brain was able to recover, and autism was able to regress. This doctor seems very, very optimistic about the types of regression from it. So by the way, doesn't this suck? Doesn't this suck that on YouTube I'm basically summarizing a doctor's work that is peer-reviewed, that is out there, but because it's anti-orthodoxy, because there's other doctors that speak against him, we're not even allowed to mention it. And of course we're allowed to mention it, but what I mean is, go ahead and search my name on YouTube. I bet it doesn't pop up unless you're specifically looking for that one type of video. But I guarantee I don't pop up in recommendations right after Joe Rogan or something like that to people. So, the leaky gut thing can be caused by, basically, he was stating that it's glyphosate. And I wouldn't even go into these subjects, but this is now a German company, so hey, all right. Monsanto and Bayer, there's a German, I think, now. They've been sold to them, so let's go. Glyphosate causes big holes in the gut, this leaky gut thing, for certain kids. Not everybody. That's why I might not have had health problems, but another kid might have had brain problems or seizures or something like that caused by his diet. And diet can possibly reverse seizures as well. CBD can be used to help with seizures as well. So that's why I am happy the product is here. So the most important thing was that THC, though, to be able to hit those receptors. So if you've had a long, stressed out day, let's say you're a slave, right? Well, then you've got a lot of these receptors. Then when you hit it, your entire body is going to get the signal not only to lower blood pressure and chill out a bit. Not only will you feel better, get some dopamine going, but then your entire body will start to lower the inflammation in it. And this could be really big for lots of diseases. It's really counterintuitive because you would think you're causing inflammation in the lungs by smoking something or ingesting it some other way. And yet it could have long-term health benefits. Yeah, seems to be that way. Athletes that use it, for everybody I know, this is now anecdotal. I've seen some studies too, but still, I'm going to go with the anecdotal evidence. Everybody that smokes in California, and Finland as well, they have better lung function than the average smokers. Now, I'm not talking about the cigarette smokers, and I would have to put that everybody in Finland that smokes weed is a tobacco smoker. And they still seem to get some of the health benefits. But that would be anecdotal as well, and who knows? I don't know if you can outdo the tobacco involved in it. So, Bogden, because now I just wanted to go to crime and stuff like that and start talking about that. But let's go back to these processes. If there's holes in the gut from food, genetically modified corn and soy, which is basically all I grew up on, Chef Boyardee in a can, then you'll have problems there. This can lead to huge amounts of depression and so forth because eventually the swelling gets to the brain, or if your gut biome isn't strong, this can cause, you cannot produce serotonin if something was off. I forget which part. So I think that was a aspect of the leaky gut or something. So it was something to do with like getting nutrients from the food or the digestion process and something not happening, and so therefore you can't produce serotonin. You can't remember that marker, why it matters. So you can repair that gut, but it takes a long time, up to a year for kids, for some of the stuff. And antibiotics, those just nuke everything down there. That seems pretty rough. But Yeah, the one really positive thing at the end of this was that this doctor was able to see regression in his own child, I believe, and there's lots of anecdotal stories of these things, but tons of anecdotal things become basically data sets in the future. So, you know, uh, yeah, let's see. So that doesn't mean that smoking marijuana morning to night is a good thing. I would imagine that the benefit increases from when if you cause that stress on your body in the daytime, and then at night, or doesn't really matter what night or daytime, but after your stress, then to take it. Because just taking it before, I don't know if it's going to even help you to get that amount of stress done. Maybe you needed to do that amount of work, or bodybuilding for me, even though it doesn't show. But those are the stresses that I try to put on. But alcohol, I don't believe, has any triggers to help any of this stuff. I've never heard of pain pills having any of this stuff. Borana and paracetamol, wouldn't you be concerned, or even aspirin, of them destroying the gut biome? Salicylic acid or different types of chemicals that they don't seem to work well with gut biome. Oh, that hurt. My lower back is pretty tired from deadlifting. Oh. So, yeah, it's, so now, there's still, I can't even believe some of the views I've heard on American TV still, but Finland, you've got to understand, this is not, you have been given bad science. You're on the wrong side of history here. Your politicians, your police, everything, if they continue to have a war on this, we understand why. The reason why marijuana stays illegal in Finland, it's not to lower the amount sold. That is not a concern to anybody involved. There's never a politician that has run on, we're going to get the weed out of Finland. But Finland has a monopoly on alcohol, which is not allowed in the EU, and gambling is one of our things that we do here. And you're still going to look at marijuana like it's going to ruin lives, and it has the ability to. Don't think that I'm just saying it's a good thing. But for each year, you continue to push that these things can't help kids with seizures, that they can't, if a kid is depressed, that maybe you would not want to put him through psychotherapy and give him a lifetime diagnosis. That maybe the kid could try some other treatment. I don't want to suggest any of these things, actually. That's not what I should do. But I'm just saying the current treatments that what we do seem to be barbaric. There's a lot of people that for osteoarthritis would love to be able to take something that would help with inflammation and not have long-term side effects. And we can't get that from our hospitals here. So it's a little hard. I'm a Finn that grew up in California. I know what you guys are telling me about this stuff is just completely untrue. And you're ruining people's lives. You're putting people in jail. You're separating families. And for what? For marijuana usage that if it was taxed and made legal would then become cheap. Well, see, I can guess why. I'm just going to guess here. They want it to be illegal because then you can make much more money off of it. I get it. And actually, anybody that grows illegally here really wants it to stay illegal too, because it's when they go to sell it, they can sell it for fucking 20 a gram. This is higher prices than anywhere else in the world. You go to California, you might have to sell it for 5 a gram, 10 a gram. If it's not the best quality, good luck. So I have a feeling that the drug laws are in place like this because it makes sense for the drug dealers. Nobody wants to change the laws here, the small guys, the big guys, and all of that. But the problem is, it's not good for Finland itself. Because that's a huge amount of tax that you're just, first off, a lot of the money is going out of the country. Right? So you're supporting all these big illegal industries that are paying lots of money and it's going right out of the country. Right? Kind of like how even when we go, it's very popular here in Finland to go buy your booze in Estonia to just get around state taxes for your drugs. And that's like, all right. So they just think that's the coolest shit to do, to go on a cruise to save money and then buy all your shit over there. But these have big impacts on the economy, and this country does not have like a robust economy that it can just continue to afford to do all kinds of crazy stuff, like avoiding taxes and bringing people in and all this stuff. I'm very interested because I love the systems here, and I think it's they do some fantastic things here that in California we could really learn from. You know, our homeless system in California, our drug addicts, but we don't do much for the drug addicts here. If you're on alcohol, we'll give you a prescription. And alcohol seems to be the one that, man, that's the thing that I have been attacked on the metro. I've been attacked on the streets. I've seen people fight bus drivers that were 60 years old here. Police officers, they need to have security on the metros constantly, and the police, and they arrest like 300 people a weekend here on a holiday for fighting. That's the arrests. So imagine how many fights there are in just Helsinki, in just one city, just without that. I should do some more on this weed stuff, but I got a crap, so I'm out of here.